This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Ping.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
Welcome to Life Mastery with Todd Allen, the talk radio show that dives into the science of higher consciousness. Join Todd and his guests weekly at 10 a.m. Pacific Time and learn how to live a peaceful life with intentional mastery. Enjoy a survey of inspiring topics such as abundance, intention, health, manifestation, love, and transformation. It's all right here. Leading authors, speakers, coaches, entrepreneurs with stories and messages to support your well-being, let alone your most evocative dreams.
Yay, I get to hang out with my cool friend Jackie, and Jackie and I find cool people just to talk to, and we talk about things that will for sure help you along with your very own life mastery journey. Great tools, great thoughts and ideas, and we present them for you to use or to put in your pocket and pull out later. No matter what, we're planting seeds. Right, Jackie?
That's right. We're little gardeners.
Before we start the show, I always like to get myself centered and situated and in the groove and get ready for some great thoughts and ideas. We have a really cool guest with some really great thoughts today, so let's get ready for that. And I do that by just relaxing a little bit, lower those shoulders, and let's take in a deep breath all the way down deep. And let that breath out with a big ah. And just let your essence flow up through your heart center, up through your throat chakra, and right out of your speaker box, out into the universe. Think about what it is you connect to. What gives you power? What is it that you connect to? Could be the tree, could be God, could be Allah, could be the dude, could be the door that leads to your office, anything. Just focus on that which gives you peace and solace. And now let's think about our dreams, visions, and goals. What is it that we want to accomplish? We're almost halfway through the year, but let's focus on those a little bit. What is it that you aspire to be? Let's take in another deep breath. And again, let that breath out with a big ah, and just let it flow right out of your speaker box, out into the universe. And for sure, allow the universe to make those come true for you. Hi, Jackie. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you doing?
You're all Hawaii'd out today. Is that?
Yes. Yes. This is my Mother's Day gift that is still got a few more days of life to it, but it is a very fresh lei from the island of Maui. It was.
Who went to Hawaii?
No one did. It was ordered and shipped to me. In fact, shipping probably costs as much as the lei does.
It's very pretty. I don't think I've ever seen a yellow one.
It's actually green. It's showing up a little bit yellow on the screen, but it's green, and it's tuberose. So those are very, very fragrant. You know, my husband and I have been married for 38 years, and he has never failed to give me flowers for Mother's Day.
Nice.
Sometimes it's been a corsage. Sometimes he's actually made a corsage. And then for the past probably 5 years or so, he's been sending me a lei from Maui. So,
yay,
go
Arnie.
Husband.
You go, Arnie.
Makes all the other husbands look really bad.
Arnie's a pretty cool dude. Man. He's also a very good friend of mine. So good job, Arnie. Way to be.
But there's another special occasion. Tomorrow is Todd's birthday. So we've got to sing a little happy birthday. I'm not a great singer, but I'm willing to embarrass myself for you, Todd. Okay. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Todd. Happy birthday to you.
I don't know why you say you can't sing. That's quite the set of pipes. I think you did very well.
Thanks. But you're going to be, I don't know, do you want to tell the age?
Of course.
Okay.
60 years young.
60 years old tomorrow. Life is just beginning.
Totally. And we're going to find out what I can do and what I should be doing to make it even that much more sweeter with our guest today. So I'm really excited because, I've had a shot across the bow, and we'll talk about that a little bit. And it was life changes. I think it's a life-changing event. It's just a way of waking up thinking, I need to pay attention a little bit more.
I think you can get another 60 years in. That's what I think.
I do. You know what they say, Jackie? It's really cool. I heard the other day that children are there's a child being born right now that will live to be 1,000.
Really? Who's saying that?
I heard that. That the other day because of the technology and what they're finding. And there's some amazing research. So who knows?
Well, we are definitely learning how to have more longevity in life and how to live with less medical problems. And so I don't disagree that we could probably live past 100 pretty easily. 1,000? I don't know if I want to live that long.
I do. That would be amazing. Just think of all the wisdom you would collect.
Yeah.
Noah lived that long. Many other people. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, when I think of longevity, I always think of the Galapagos tortoise because, and you look at the faces of these tortoises that have lived on the earth for hundreds of years now. And you think there is so much wisdom there. And you think about all of the risks they've had to their lives, whether it be storm or predators or illness or, so many things. And yet they've made it. It's pretty amazing and fascinating.
Jackie's a tortoise lady. That's
I think it's kind of my spirit animal.
Spirit animal. Of course it is. How could you say anything different? But you have some programs starting up. Tell us just a little bit about what you're up to at the Speak, Feed, Lead project.
Well, as you know, we empower children through public speaking skills and camps and classes and courses and so forth. We've now started all the last of the 8-week courses that we have during the school year. So there's no more of those happening until fall, but we've got several classes. There's 9 or 10 classes that are still working on getting done with these 8-week courses, but we're starting the summer camps. We can't have them in person, but they are virtual mini workshops 3 days a week throughout the summer. And they focus on all different things like improvisation, conversation, storytelling, competition speaking, TEDx type speeches. So there's a workshop for your child if they're in grades 4 through grade 8. We'll keep them busy and help them feel empowered throughout the summer.
And I can't highlight it enough that this kind of training, and it's training by doing. It's not any, inject stuff into your brain. It's just here, do this. And the biggest gift I think is a great sense of confidence. And this isn't a confidence that they come to your classes with. This is a confidence they use every day and for the rest of their life. So this is a huge booster. It's like a booster shot.
I asked one of my students the other day, what do you think these classes have done for you? Because he's been through he's in the 4th unit of curriculum right now. And he said, he illustrated this, which proves exactly what these skills do for these kids. He goes, before I started these classes, I would be like, hey, how you doing? Well, got to go. Bye. But now, he said, I'll go, hey, I'm Zach. Who are you? It's nice to meet you. I want to find out everything I can about you. So tell me everything you like. He just went on and on about how he's just so confident now to have conversations with people and learn their story. And so it's pretty incredible.
And that's huge. That is huge. Yeah. I mean, there's a future leader of our world. I mean, that's what it does. So check it out. Yeah. Go to speakfeedlead.org and check out Jackie's classes. It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You can also find it. There's many, many links on Life Mastery Radio's Facebook page. Go there and like our Facebook page. After you've done that, go check out our website. We have a really cool website at lifemasteryradio.net or .com. Anything about the show, today's show page is there. Any links that we talk about will be there. While you're there, you can check out Jackie and I's book. We both have a book. It's on Amazon. The links are there. What else is there? Oh, the newsletter. Sign up for the newsletter. Jackie creates a newsletter every week about who's been on the show and who's coming on the show. And she does. Last week, Jackie, you wrote a book last week. I was just blown away at all the information that you came up with just for that show. It was pretty cool.
Well, it was definitely a message that we needed to help get out.
Oh yeah, that was a very cool show.
And so many people need to hear it. And so it was nice that we had such a wonderful guest. And I just borrowed a lot of information she'd given in her book about how to know if you're living with someone who's prone to abusing you or, violating you in some way. So, yeah.
And now we're going to have some more cool stuff that we're going to learn about, some more tools. Our guest today is, here we go. I'm going to test my French. Our guest today is Celine Anelone Brozovich, and she is the founder of Kenji Health, a health and productivity company created to build employee morale and reduce employer healthcare expenses. Oh my goodness. Celine was the director of customer service at McKesson, a Fortune 10 company, and she won the coveted McKesson President's Award for over-the-top achievers. Celine, are you an over-the-top achiever? I think Jackie and I are too. I think we both go there. In a nutshell, Celine works across an organization to teach and coach. She leverages lifestyle medicine. That's her bailiwick, so to say, and her lifestyle medicine programs that are scientifically based and with proven results and sound business principles to deliver a program with sustainable results. The reason this is key now is that research has shown that worker productivity and just general productivity decreases by up to 46% when we are in poor health. Furthermore, the Center for Disease Control states as a fact that 6 out of 10 Americans suffer from chronic diseases like diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, obesity, etc. Celine's work as a coach and consultant addresses these issues directly. Did we put you on top of a mountain yet, Celine?
I just want to run away. I'm like, is that me? Can do that.
That's you. Welcome to the show, my friend. How are you today?
Thank you very much. Thank you, Todd and Jackie, for having me. And I can't wait to share my passion with my fellow Toastmasters and all of your listeners. Thank you for having me.
So define for us right out of the gate, lifestyle medicine. What does that mean? I mean, that's a big thought and a big idea, but define it for us a little bit.
Thank you. So lifestyle medicine is based on the following pillars. We say that what you put in your mouth, food, alcohol, drug, tobacco, water, medications. So we have the nutrition aspect. What you do with your body in terms of sleep, exercise, access to the sun, the type of product you choose to put on your skin. What you do with your mind in terms of prayer, meditation, connection to the divine. What you do with your relationship, forgiveness, having a support system, self-compassion, your life purpose. Do you know that life purpose? And the environment you live in, access to nature, if it's not polluted. When you manage all of those pillars in partnership with your medical doctor, this is called lifestyle medicine. And you're going to see that you can prevent and or reverse the chronic diseases that we have. So nutrition, your body, your mind, your spirit, your connectedness, your relationships, your life purpose, and the environment. All of that managed every single day with the partnership with your medical doctor is lifestyle medicine.
Wow.
So my second question, you got a degree in electrical engineering. You were big time corporate. I mean, the number 10 or the president's award from the number 10 Fortune 10 company. I mean, that took some drive and probably some passion. How did you end up being a advocate for lifestyle medicine?
Thank you. This is a good question. This is life. So as you mentioned, I am an engineer. I'm also an MBA, and I was flying high. I loved my job, and my last job was fabulous. I was doing data science. I was creating those beautiful models for the entire company to use. And the more they love it, the more I was working. Absolutely no boundaries. I was working long hours. I was not sleeping. I was not exercising. I was not eating properly. All I was doing was work, and work. Then what has to happen happened. I burned out. Physical, emotional, mental, complete burnout, plus the weight gain and chronic diseases, and even an attempt to suicide. A close attempt to suicide. I was that close of doing it. Thank you to my sister, I'm alive. So I knew it couldn't go that way. I have 2 girls. I have a man who loves me. Doesn't bring me the Hawaii yet. And we need to have a talk. So I did the research and I ran into lifestyle medicine. It's like, Todd, to understand why I love lifestyle medicine is I have been on a diet since age 12. So you name it, I have been on it. And lifestyle medicine, when I was reading about the nutrition, made sense. I embarked into that journey. I lost the weight. The depression became under control. I could see, I could reflect, I can be happier again. And I decided, how come I did not know about that? Because the doctor that I was paying to help me was going to put me on medication for high blood pressure. And I told him, no, you guys put my mom on medication for high blood pressure for 54 years. She developed a stroke, lost her mind. No, let's find another alternative. So after my recovery, I decided I am a Toastmaster. I love to talk. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to share that information to as many people as possible because people don't know about lifestyle medicine. And we want to talk more and more and more about that there is hope. There is something that we can do. Did I answer that question?
It did. And, I'm in that boat, right? I went to the doctor and he's like, oh, your blood pressure's high. And no mention of any lifestyle changes. Nothing. And he says, okay, here, try this. And so he gave me a prescription and then he said, you're going to come back in a month and we're going to monitor your progress. Came back in a month and he says, oh, we need to bump it up a little bit. And I said, Doc, how long am I going to have to take this stuff? And he looked at me and he says, well, probably for the rest of your life. And that just hit me. It hit me kind of funny, but another part of me just bought into it, right? Because it's been in my family. I talked to my mom about it. She says, oh yeah, we have a long history of high blood pressure in our family, da, 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 da. And now, after reviewing your material and just talking, I still don't feel right taking that pill every day. And I'm pretty sure that I can get to the point where I don't have to take that pill anymore.
Yeah. So, Celine, before you answer that, I was going to ask you, is this something that you had to advocate for yourself? Or are there doctors who will actually walk you through this and be a support for you?
2 great questions and issues. So, Jackie, I had to advocate for myself because I was stubborn. And I told that doctor that, no, I saw what was happening to my mom and what happened to my mom. The beauty is when he saw my result, he started learning. So now I was the one teaching him and dumping information on him. And yes, you have doctors, and it's growing, but not fast enough, who are lifestyle medicine doctors. You have an association called the American College for Lifestyle Medicine. Those are medical doctors, board certified doctors who are part of that association. They even are issuing CMEs or additional degrees for doctors to be certified in lifestyle medicine. They are teaching them about, the power of food, of nutrition, the power of exercise, the power of the entire lifestyle. So they have now doctors, it's growing, where you can look and go and they'll treat you with lifestyle medicine. So the ACLM, American College for Lifestyle Medicine, is where you want to go. And here in our own backyard, we have at Providence a doctor called Dr. Kevin Clay. He's passionate about lifestyle medicine. Dr. Clay was successful at bringing a lifestyle medicine program in cardiac rehab in Everett. So today, if you had a cardiac episode, for your rehabilitation, they enroll you into a program called CHIP, the Complete Health Improvement Program. It's a wonderful, beautiful program. I'm asking Dr. Clay, and I'm like, why do we have to wait for the cardiac event? Why don't we do before? We are working on it. He says that it's happening. It's happening. It's too slow. And we can talk later about why is it that slow, but it's happening.
I'm sure it has a lot to do with awareness. We've just been on such a growth drive, and everybody's just been working themselves to death. And now I think, we're backing up a little bit. Looking at lifestyle, right? I also, Celine, I don't mean to jump ahead of Jackie, but it was about a year, almost 18 months ago, and I was getting ready for an event. I hadn't eaten. I hadn't drank any water. I probably stayed up all night getting ready for this presentation. 10 minutes before the presentation, I had a TIA, right? That's a wake-up call. So a mini stroke is what they call it. Ooh. Yeah. And it was like, you got to take care of yourself, Todd. You are not getting any younger. So this was a huge wake-up call.
Yeah, and this is one of the message I am bringing to founders, people who are entrepreneurs, people who have created companies, and even professionals, that you know what? You can lose everything you've worked for just like that. Because just like that, every 36 seconds, one American is dying from the cardiovascular disease. 4 seconds later, one is having a heart attack. And 1 out of 5 of those heart attacks will leave some permanent damage in that. And the cost to treat that heart attack could be, if you're lucky, 21,000 into the millions. So founders out there, do you have wellness as part of your disaster recovery plan? Because that heart attack happened just like that, especially knowing that 6 out of 10 Americans have a chronic disease, meaning we are not being very healthy. So let's talk more about that and tell people that the answer for that is in the prevention.
Yeah.
So what are some of the changes that you made, Celine, when you lost, did you say 65 pounds you lost? Is that what you said?
Between my husband and I, we lost 100 pounds. He lost 63. I lost 37.
Wow. So what were some of the changes that you made, and how quickly did you see the difference?
Good question. So I made a change on all the pillars, but let's talk number one about the nutrition. When it comes to the nutrition, I did a whole food plant-based nutrition. And we'll talk about that in detail. I went 100%. This is not for the faint of heart. So in the lifestyle medicine movement, we say if you can have your nutrition 80% or more plant slate, whole food plant slate, and I'll have to explain the difference between that and plant-based, you are okay. But in my case, because of all the pathologies, I went 100% whole food plant-based. So every day I will eat from all 5 groups. Let me ask you a question, Jackie. How many different edible plants do you think are out there?
Oh gosh, thousands upon thousands upon thousands, and it depends on where you live, right?
80,000 different edible plants out there. Yeah. You have them in 5 groups: your vegetables, your legumes, your fruits, your cereal, and your nut and seed. So every day I ate from all 5 groups, drank plenty of water, ate more green than anything else, but every group, every 5 group, I'll eat a little bit of it, because you need to, every food has a specialty. So I'll do that every day. I'll drink plenty of water, I'll exercise, and I'll work also on the emotions, do that thing about, gee, who am I mad at? Go to confession. I'm Catholic, so we go to confession. So confess and go deeper into the forgiveness. Forgiveness is key. When people say, if you don't forgive, it's as if you're drinking poison. Yes, it is right. I was drinking the poison and thinking that somebody else was going to die. I was putting myself in jail. When I released all of those people, I opened the door of the jail. It speed up the process. So I will say, I start seeing the first result, especially for the depression, within a few weeks.
Really? That fast?
Yes. That fast. Yeah. Within a few weeks, you start seeing results. And for the whole way to finish, I think it must have taken a year or so. Because the beauty is you don't crash on the weight loss. Your body slows down to heal itself, all the inflammation. And when the body is healing for the inflammation, its focus is not on weight loss. It's to heal you. And then the weight loss goes down. Right. Then the clothes start fitting better. I'll start feeling better mood and everything. So this is what I did every single day. And I did a lot of self-compassion, which, by the way, doesn't mean you are selfish. We can talk about self-compassion and selfishness later. Did that answer that question for you, Jackie?
Absolutely. And I appreciate it, because I've been through a little bit of a dietary trial myself, and I've learned a lot of things over the last 10 years that have really helped me. So it sounds, you can see results very quickly. In fact, I remember seeing results after 3 days where I was having this chronic shoulder pain, and with no explanation. It wasn't an injury or anything like that. And when I changed my diet, it was gone in 3 days. It was just gone in 3 days.
Are you 100% plant-based, Jackie, or?
Mostly. I'm about 80% plant-based. I will have some chicken or beef on occasion, but it's very rare. And in fact, this week I'm on a 5-day, for 5 days every month, I go on a complete vegan diet, and I only get about 700 to 900 calories a day. And it's a way that my body sort of resets itself. Yeah. And so I'm in the second day of a 5-day, what I call a fast mimic. So yeah, but it works. It's great. What I found, Celine, was that a lot of the foods I was eating that were not necessarily unhealthy foods, but they were causing inflammation. And so this inflammation was a chronic injury happening in my gut or other parts of the body, which of course would cause more inflammation, because inflammation really actually is the cause of all disease, inflammation. And so when you have inflammation in your body, you're going to be diseased somewhere. And when I started getting rid of the foods that were causing me personally to have inflammation, what a difference it made. Absolutely.
And I love the fact that you said me personally. I love the work of Ashley Koff. She's a registered dietitian who believes in personalized nutrition. So people listening, you have to understand the concept. You have 80,000 food out there in 5 groups. You want to eat from every groups as whole as possible. And we'll talk about what processing does to food. Now, in those groups, find the one that works for your body. For example, as whole food as I am still allergic to apples. I don't know why. I am allergic to apples, so I don't eat apples. So not eating apples works for me. My husband cannot live without apple. He will take he will take his apple, he will pour some cinnamon on it, and he will eat it. You know, I look at him and he looks so happy, and I'll be so jealous. How come he can have an apple and I cannot have any? But it works for him. So remember that concept of personalized nutrition. Go for a food in each 5 groups that you enjoy eating. Oh, Jackie, we're not talking enough about pleasure. You see, this Dr. Douglas and Alan Goldhammer wrote one of the best books, I believe, to help people, The Pleasure Trap. Understand that at the end of the day, when it comes to nutrition, it's about pleasure. I'll give you a small anecdote. He told me that I can share that. I have a friend of mine who is a professor of the Department of Nutrition in a university in the Ivory Coast. He has diabetes and was not following his nutrition regimen. And I asked him, come on, buddy, you are the head of nutrition, you know. And he looked at me, he's like, Mrs. Brozovich, the food that she gave me is not good. Doesn't taste good, it's bland. And I'm like, what? So I asked his wife. She was giving him the beans in the can, the green beans in the can. Oh yeah, that thing tastes blah. And I told her, and I'm like, why don't we do the following? Take that green beans, okay? And let's get some fresh one, okay? Boil them, steam them. I don't really care at that point. Add some garlic. Add a little bit of black pepper. Add some parsley. A few drops of lemon or balsamic vinegar. Toss the whole thing. And because he's African, he likes spicy, add a little bit of hot pepper in it and give it to that man. If he doesn't eat, come and talk to me.
Making my mouth water.
So it's like, oh, voila. So the same food, by using some spices, we turn that food into a delicacy, into something that he will enjoy. And by the way, eating a whole food plant-based nutrition doesn't mean eating green salad. You have plenty of food that you can eat that are delicious, 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 delicious. So do not forget pleasure in your eating. Let me stop here.
That's an important one. Yeah, because I find that there's so many things I'm denied because of my dietary issues, that the one pleasure I can have is dark chocolate. So once in a while I have, but it's got to be like 70% or more, 72% actually cocoa or more. And it can't have soy in it. So I've got it. So I have to choose very carefully, but that is my one bit of pleasure that I can have on occasion, is a little bit of dark chocolate.
Let me boost that pleasure for you. Now imagine Trader Joe's has 100% dark chocolate, nothing added, just the cocoa. Now take that cocoa and take some figs, because you like the figs, or some dates, wrap it around it and eat it. You are now eating 100% cocoa with a sweetener that is 100% whole food plant-based, and it is delicious. This is how I eat my chocolate in here. So you see?
Yeah. You gotta just find the pleasure.
You have to find the pleasure.
Well, let's talk about another one that I think America is addicted to. I think it's a huge health problem, and causes so many problems in a lot of different people, and that is that S word, Celine.
Yes, white sugar. Dr. Yadlin, a doctor, wrote a book, Pure, White, and Deadly. Yes, that white stuff is pure, it is white, it's deadly, and it is as addictive as cocaine.
Yeah. Really?
That's the reason. Oh, yes. Look at the research from Dr. Lustig. The research is clear. It is as addictive as cocaine. That's the reason why we cannot stop.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why when you want to go, you really have to try to clean it and remove it and not even create like, oh, willpower and this type of things. This is lethal. That white sugar, when you see what it does to our body, let me tell you a story. I go to a store on Saturday because my daughter wanted something, so it's an African store. So I get in the store, I take my stuff, and I see this lady. She has a beautiful 10-year-old, and she had 2 sodas. I tap on her shoulder and I'm like, Mom, I have to talk to you. Please don't buy that. This is not good. No, this is not good for your daughter. I'm sorry I am intruding, but this is what I do for living. I just finished a talk at Microsoft teaching those engineers how to get rid of white sugar. So please, ma'am. And I'm like, okay, here is a video. I am legit, you know.
I love
the
it.
beauty is she looked at me and I'm like, yeah. And you know, she looked at me, I look beautiful, I look healthy, and she didn't buy those 2 things. And I'm like, okay, come and meet my husband. And the little girl, they met my husband, and we start talking to them. People are not educated. We have to talk more about that, raise the awareness, get people to understand that white sugar, it's poison that you are putting in your mouth. There is nothing good about it. As soon as it hits your tongue, you have that insulin that is spiking, and that yo-yo spiking and dropping is creating so much problems. So for the people who are listening to us today, please try everything. Stay away from the white sugar, the high corn fructose syrup, the agave nectar, all of those things. There is nothing good in there for your health. For your customers, and people listening, if you want, because we are all addicted to that sugar, go for a fruit, a whole fruit. It's sweet, but not only is it sweet, it has fiber, it has vitamins, it has mineral. Every bite of that apple, your body is rejoicing and say, thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's true. No, I love apples, and I can tell you, you know, a good apple an apple a day keeps the doctor away. That's what I learned.
Yeah, and that's true. An apple a day will keep that doctor away. And if you make it an apple, a banana, an orange, and you diversify it, and you add even the berries, whoa, you even keep the surgeon away.
Well, what about dates? You talk a lot about dates, and how do you've I've heard you talk about crafting a special little treat, because I like to come home and maybe have, you know, a cinnamon disc or something sugary, that white sugar, because I'm addicted to it, obviously. What is something we can substitute that little treat with?
Okay, so your first substitution, if you want sweet, is going to be a whole fruit. Why a whole fruit? Because one apple is 80% water. So you want the whole fruit. It's sweet, it has fiber, minerals, and vitamins. Now, if you want to get some treats and all, instead of using white sugar, use date and mix it. For example, I'll give you a recipe right there to make your own no-bake
spread
brownies.
Oh, brownies.
Yeah. Take your brownies, take some walnuts, and take your 100% cocoa powder and some date, mix the whole thing into your blender. When you take it, you mash it, you have brownies right there with 0 sugar, just using the date. So walnuts, 100% cocoa powder, date, and then you can add a little bit of vanilla. A little. Anytime you use chocolate or cocoa-based thing, add always a pinch of salt because the salt will boost the taste. And add some cinnamon and add a little bit of clove because those spices not only make it good, but they give you some antioxidants. So imagine now you're eating a brownie that is actually healing you.
That's amazing.
That's
and
awesome.
You're making my mouth water again.
Yeah. Now, aren't there some fruits, though, that do contain a lot of sugar, even though it's a natural form of sugar? Isn't it still sugar or not?
I don't like to say still sugar. So when you're doing fruits, okay, don't go for the dry fruit. The only dry fruit you want to have is your date because you're using that to replace the sugar in the thing. But go for the whole fruits. And how is the body reacting to the sweetness in a whole apple compared to white sugar? So when you have the white sugar on your tongue, your brain tell the pancreas to shoot some insulin to go and process that sugar that is coming. So the insulin goes in a spike and it then drops, okay? And that white sugar has only the bad carb in it, 100% carb. Now, let's take the sugar that is in the apple. When the brain will detect the sweet when you have the bite, but instead of the insulin shooting, the insulin will be released slowly because of the fiber in your apple. So you are not going to have the crash after you've eaten an apple, the same way you have a crash after you've been drinking some soda, because the body processes them entirely differently. Did I answer that question without getting into voila?
Yeah, I mean, there's such a difference that you can see in children when you give them a little cookie as opposed to giving them an apple. I mean, the cookie, I've literally seen kids just go nuts with a little bit of sugar in their system. And like you say, then they always fall. Then they become tired and irritable, and they become angry and unwilling, to obey rules and things like that. And it's the sugar that they're getting, right? And I mean, even at schools, they give them sugar. And I think that's probably one of the worst things we can give kids is sugar.
Yeah, this is one of the worst things we can give to our children. And we have, as mothers, to protest and to tell the schools, don't feed my kids any sugar. I will send them there. It's a big problem also because, people will tell you, but, the school meal is subsidized and the fruits cost a lot of money. That between the two of us, when you start looking closely, okay, a pound of meat is much more expensive than buying an apple. So, take a pound of beans that are loaded with a whole bunch of good things. It's much cheaper than a pound of meat. So that money that you are not using to buy your meat, your chicken, you can use part of that money to buy beans and to buy some fresh fruits. So when you sit, and some people have specialized actually in that, when you sit and you start looking on where to allocate the money, you can see that if you really want to do it, there is a way to do it, to eat healthy.
Yeah.
And sugary drinks are a huge part of our society and our kids. It's prevalent everywhere. And you see all the advertisements, and you walk in the store and there's just racks after racks of sugary drinks.
Well, in the baby food aisle, they give you a choice of apple juice and juices like that to give to your baby. Come on.
Yeah, it is sad. Actually, let me share a number with you. In 1900, an American was eating 5 pounds of sugar per year. Today, give me a number. How many pounds of sugar per year that one American is eating?
Wow.
25.
25.
190 pounds.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. So we're eating sugar, and it is in everything. When you go in that supermarket, 80% of the food in there has sugar in it. And guess what? They hide the name. Do you know how many different names of sugar are in there?
I don't know. 10?
61.
Jeez. Wow.
Yeah, 61. Wow. According to the University of California in San Francisco, 61. And they hide it. They have a vicious way of hiding it into the food. So if you don't know how to read those labels, you're going to see that, oh, the first ingredient is this. It's like, no, what about the third? What about the seventh? What about the ninth? What about the 12th? So when you add all of those things, the first ingredient is going to be sugar. So you have to know how to be a detective, get educated on how to recognize that sugar in the food that you are buying.
Well, that's so true, because it seems like a few years ago, there was a big kick on non-fat. You know, get rid of the fat in your diet. And everybody was buying non-fat milks and yogurts and things like that, but not looking at the sugar content, because they had to add sugar to make it palatable, right? Yep. But so it seems to me like it's actually a conspiracy to some degree, that these food makers, these food product makers, know that sugar is addicting. And so they've got to keep their products flying off the shelves. And so in order to do that, they've got to get people addicted to that so that they keep buying it. I mean, that sounds pretty sinister, but it sounds like it could actually be happening.
But the best data scientists produced in the world, you know who they work for? They work for the food company. Mm-hmm. Because the best marketeers, they work for the food company. Do you know that when you take that bag of potato chips, from the time you've taken that bag to the time you open it, everything, they've worked on every single thing, is done in such a way that when you open that bag, you have to finish that bag.
Yeah.
The crunchiness, the smell, the taste, everything on that bag is done in such a way that you have to finish that bag. So if you finish it, you're going to buy more.
Buy another one.
Voilà. So we are all against, it's a huge fight. And I'm telling people, when it comes to you, your health is your gift to you. Work on it. Your family, watch over them, but it just have to be by invitation. But when it comes to your young children, mothers, fathers, you have a responsibility to feed them properly and to educate them.
Yeah.
The statistic is very gloomy. I teach at the hospital with Dr. Clay, and one of the stats that makes me angry is 1 out of 3 children born today is going to have diabetes.
1 out of 3?
1 out of 3, yes. Wow. It's like, why? Because as a society, we've decided that, we want to be rich, we want to be fast, we want to not take the time to sit down and chop the vegetables. We want to do what? It's not fair to our kids. It's not fair to future generation. Yeah. We all have to wake up and do something about it.
Well, and ignoring this one pillar affects the other pillars that you mentioned too, because I know that if you're not feeling good physically, it's really hard to feel spiritually well and mentally well. So it sounds to me, Celine, like you're saying that if you're going to start making changes, the first change that you can make to see immediate results and to get a better feeling about trying something else is your diet. That changing your diet is the first thing to do. Is that correct?
I don't want to go that dramatic because remember, we are all different.
Yeah.
I will say the first thing to do is to be aware that change is needed and that you have the pillars and go for the low-hanging fruits. Go for the low-hanging fruit. Is the lack of exercise, walking a little bit, is it what you can do immediately? The beauty is each one of them, they are so intertwined. As soon as I represent that actually on my website as a set of gears. As soon as you move one, you start moving all the others. They all come together. But food, for the one who can go to the food, and please, don't jump into it to say, oh, I am going to be a vegan today. No, it could be overwhelming. So please take the time, educate yourself, know what you are doing. We've all heard about the fat vegan. What is the difference between veganism and whole food plant-based eating? Veganism is a social movement. It's for people who are passionate about the environment, about animals, about the climate. They happen to eat plant-based, but their first motivation is not health. It is for their passion. So a vegan could eat, for example, Oreos. Why? Because Oreos is plant-based. But Oreos is one of the worst things you can put into your mouth. Right. There's nothing good in that Oreos, nothing. Yeah. But a whole food plant-based is not going to touch Oreos. We're going to go for the whole fruit. So if you want to do that change, please educate yourself. You have some people like myself, like some other doctors and the other coaches who've made it very simple. Take the time, understand what you are doing. And if somebody come to you and tell you that one food is a superfood, look at that person straight in the eyes and say, you are a liar, said Celine. There is not such a thing as a superfood. It's about understanding that we have 80,000 food in 5 groups and eating each one of a little bit of the 5 groups every day. Don't rush if you don't know what you're doing. Take the time to educate yourself. Take the time to love yourself, to go slowly. Let me stop there and see. It's such a great field but I want people to be successful. Please go slow, educate yourself, go at your own pace. And I'll share that one in here, Todd, before giving you the mic. You have 5 ways of getting started. Okay? If you listen here to say, gee, I can get rid of, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, lose weight. Yes, you can. It is in your lifestyle.
Celine,
so you have 5 ways.
Make it kind of short. We only have about 3 minutes left. So you know what I suggest is you come back on Life Mastery Radio. Would you do that?
Do that again every single day. We need people to be healthy. So
I know. And another one of those low-hanging fruits that you talked about is just hydration.
Yes. Water. Drink water. Drink it as, a herbal tea. Drink your water. Get that hydration going. Yes.
I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today and showing up as you and bringing that big smile. Look at that great smile. That is just so awesome. I bet that smile takes you places or has taken you places.
It's when you eat that food, it's good food, good mood.
Thank you again for showing up as you. And did you have fun on our show today?
Yes, I did. It's been an hour. Boy, I knew I could talk, but not that much.
You're a Toastmaster at heart. That's truly what it is. Oh my goodness, Jackie, any takeaways? I know you have watched your diet. You had to take it for a while though. You tried this and tried that and did this and did that. There was no magic, right?
There was no magic. It's experimentation. It's journaling to determine what your reaction is to different foods. But once you find the foods that you shouldn't have, then you just don't have them anymore. But you do have to find a replacement for them. Because if you don't find a replacement for the foods you can't have, then eating is like Celine says, it's not fun anymore. It's not pleasurable. And so you need to find ways to make things taste good for sure. Yeah.
We're going to have Celine back. I think we'll put her back in the schedule and figure that out. What do you think, Jackie?
Absolutely.
Okay. Sure. That's about all we have time for today. I hope you had fun. Check out our website. Check out our Facebook page. Check out Jackie and I's books. Check out Celine. Celine has a really cool website with some more information. And Celine, what's that website?
To make it easy, from how to wow. And 2 is number 2. Yeah. www.fromhowtowwow.com.
Very cool.
Nice.
Very cool. And thank you again for showing up as you. That's about all we have time for today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please tell your friends about the show and the cool thoughts and ideas that you got to hear that you're going to use on your very own life mastery journey. Lastly, please make it a great day, because it is all about choice. And choose to eat healthy. Get rid of that white sugar. Bye-bye.
Happy birthday, Todd.
Happy birthday, Todd.
Thank you for tuning into Life Mastery with Todd Allen, the talk radio show that dives into the science of higher consciousness. Join Todd and his guests weekly at 10 a.m. Pacific Time and learn how to live a peaceful life. For more information on Todd and his guests, visit his website at www.lifemasteryradio.net. That's www.lifemasteryradio.net.